What up, Blockchain Nation? What up, YouTube? Thank you guys so much for taking the time to subscribe to my channel. This is Remy. Welcome to All Things Blockchain. It's 5 o'clock in the morning, so for those who know me low, that I love some Frappuccino. So excuse me as I Cheers. Okay. Cheers. Awesome. Woo. Lovely. Gotta be alive. Anyways, welcome to All Things Blockchain. This is Remy. Once again, saying thank you for subscribing to this channel. If you haven't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button below so that you can get weekly videos. And also hit that little bell button so that you get notifications each time we release one of these videos. Anyways, so today I want to talk about how to get a job in this, or how to apply for jobs in this blockchain space. As of this recording, blockchain technology or jobs in the blockchain space, there's so many of them, but I realized that because a lot of companies are still getting into this sector, you notice that as a developer especially, they are not necessarily looking for blockchain developers exclusively. They expect you to know how to do other things and blockchain developments. For example, they expect you to be like a full stack developer and have some blockchain experience, or maybe a front-end developer with blockchain experience, or the like. So I'm just going to give you a couple of tips, in my opinion, ways to, or how to apply for a job in the blockchain space. So blockchain developer, first thing you are is a developer. Yeah, so in looking for a blockchain job, I'll just show you there are different ways. The first approach is the very hard approach, which is to go online and go blockchain jobs. This is the hard approach, which is to go online and start to search out for different jobs. Like you see, Consensus looking for a smart contract engineer. So if I see this, it's a long list of jobs to apply to. Now this, like I said, this is the hardest way, which is just to go online, do the whole job search, fill out the application. This is crazy. It takes time and patience. And I also heard that great thing, Facebook has gotten into blockchain. That's very, very exciting. So that's something to be excited about, that the huge big blockchain Facebook is looking for blockchain developers, which is absolutely amazing. So this is one. So in the blockchain space, as a developer or a software engineer, I think you have a larger pool of jobs to apply for. For example, you can say blockchain job. You can also say front end developer jobs, and as you can see there, depends on where you live, 100 more jobs, front-end developer, or you could say full stack developer, and full stack developer jobs. Here you go. So you see full stack developer, or you could even say software architect jobs, and you see plus 100 more jobs. So, well, this is the hard way, going online, but a good thing is a large pool of jobs you can look for. So as you're trying to find a blockchain developer job, you can start as a full stack developer or be a front-end developer, or if you're already a full stack developer and you want to transition into becoming a blockchain developer, there are so many positions out there. Software architect, you can even say let's say DevOps jobs as well. DevOps jobs, software engineer. So when you pull up DevOps, sometimes you see software engineer as well. So that's a huge pool of jobs to look for. It's supposed to be so specific in saying that, okay, I want to look for a job as a blockchain developer. There are jobs there, but I think because this is hard, going online looking, it's great to have a large pool that you can apply to. And in my personal opinion, it doesn't hurt to apply to as many as possible. Let's say, for instance, you really want to work at Facebook as a blockchain developer. I think you can apply to so many companies, so that way you get accustomed to the interview process. You know, even if you don't get a job, I mean, you can look at it as like going to the gym. Kind of hard gym maybe, but you know, apply for a job, do an interview, or it might not be the job that you want, but at least there you get to see your weaknesses and things that you need to work on for the job that you really want, in my personal opinion. So the first way to go out applying for jobs in the blockchain space is to go online and just search a broad search pool as a DevOps, front-end developer, full stack developer, software architect, and the rest. So I'll just give a list of different kind of searches that you can do below. So that's the first way, is to just go online, which in my opinion is the hardest way and the most difficult way to get a job. Second way is through your network. So through networking events like Meetup. For instance, you can join Meetup groups. So if we go to, let's say we go to Meetup groups, let's see, meetup.com. There we go. Okay. So you can look for groups near you. DC Tech Meetup, here we go, that's one. So you can Washington DC Tech Meetup. I can say join Meetup. Oh, you get the picture. Let me not bore you with all this. But basically, it's through your network. You'll find a Meetup group on technology, on JavaScript, on I'm not good for that today. But you can use the app, the Meetup app on my phone, and then you can look for Meetup groups close to you. Basically by networking, by meeting people, talking to people, your close contacts, friends. And one of the very first jobs I ever got in my entire life was through a friend. I talked to her and I was like, hey, what's up? I know she's a huge networking person. She has a lot of contacts. I once read somewhere that 80% of jobs that are available are never even advertised. It's through somebody in the company that you might get to know. So yeah, first job I ever got was through a very good friend. She knew someone who knew someone, got me an interview, and eventually I got the job, and it was great. I mean, she helped me to get my foot in the door then, you know. So it's great to go through your contacts, in my personal opinion. So networking is the second best way to get a job. So through people that you know, through meetup groups, attending networking events, maybe going for hackathons, going for conferences. I listened to a podcast lately. As you know, I like podcasts. Watch my previous video. I talk about how I like listening to podcasts and the podcasts I listen to. Anyways, and she talked about how she used to go for tech events, and she met the CEO of a company at a tech event. She just made a relationship. She just connected. Hey, how are you? This is what I do. This is who are you? Blah blah blah. And she met him at another tech event, and another tech event. Eventually, she was able to get her CV across to him, and the rest is history. Basically, networking. Networking is a great way, second best way, I think, to get a job. And so in this blockchain space, still looking at as a front-end developer, as a full-stack developer, but networking through the people that you know, through networking events, I believe that that's also a good way. And then lastly, last but not least, in my personal opinion, and this is somewhere that is very hard for a lot of us to get to, is when people now come to you. When you have become such a brand, when you have become such a skilled person that people are reaching out to you on LinkedIn, people are reaching out to you, just offering you jobs. And I think, my personal opinion, a way to get there will be, it takes time, it takes effort, it takes a lot of work. I haven't reached there in my current career. I started my career as a core banking application specialist. Now, when I was I did that for over a decade. And doing that, I had people reaching out to me all the time. Hey, dude, do you want a job here? Do you want a job there? Because I built a reputation in that space. But now I'm transitioned into a different sector. So I have to work on building that up all over again. So I believe that for us together, a way for us to get to that place will be through writing blogs, through doing YouTube videos, to just creating a brand for yourself, attending those events and speaking at those events. So that takes time to build. But wow, wouldn't that be lovely that if we get to that place whereby you have built such a reputation in that industry that you talk about it, you blog about it, you write about it, that people are now reaching out to you because you become a very, very credible person in that industry. And so I want to recommend the book. This is an amazing book. It's called The Complete Software Developer's Guide by Sonmez, and he talks extensively about all this stuff, about how to get a job in the space as a software developer. Even if you're not big on software development, you need to get this book. It's a book that you have to get. It's a big book, but I have read this book from cover to cover because it's such a good book. I'm even wondering what part to talk about, but just very quickly, he has a chapter on even on getting a job. He says advancing your career. Yeah, here we go. He talked about creating a reputation to advance your career, the importance of networking and groups, keeping your skills up to date. This is a book that everyone must have, even if you're not big on software development, even if you're just a project manager, or you're just in any other field. There are aspects of this book that will really help you. So I want to recommend that you definitely get John Sonmez's book. I've read it in its entirety, and I think it is definitely a great one. Please leave your comments below. Until next time, this is my wonderful frappuccino. Love it. Anyways, until next time, my wish for you is that you learn how to code, because coding is changing, will change the world. And in my personal opinion, those who get involved early will greatly impact the future. And if that's you, then let's go change the world.